They're not going to charge me because they have any evidence. And they're not going to charge me because I'm guilty of anything. They're going to charge me because after a 14-month investigation, 6 months of arrest, which is the maximum they can possibly give me without charge, I don't think they can just drop this.
Andrew Tate himself actually has a video responding to the charges that were placed against him today. In that last segment there, I broke it down myself and gave you my thoughts and explained why I have a strong inclination this entire thing is bogus. The charges are bogus. But now let's hear his side of the story.
So I just wanted to have an informal conversation. I was going to put a suit on and do this formally, but I think it's better if I do this informally. Highlighting some of the things that everybody already knows about how the Matrix operates and what they're trying to do to me and what I believe is going to happen next. It's quite interesting that they are attacking me and attempting to vilify me at the exact same time, whereas real predators, which work for the media establishment, are being ousted. So it's really interesting to do a juxtaposition and do a comparison, right, between how they will treat Philip Schofield, who is confirmed as a groomer, who is admitting he has committed sexual crimes, and how they'll treat me.
For the Americans like myself, apparently this is a guy who used to work for the BBC, or I think he still does. I don't know. He used to work for the BBC, and he was basically grooming people. So yeah, it's true.
A man with no convictions and no admission of sexual crimes. Look at the differences in the headlines. Look at how soft they are in their interviews with him.
You've had quite the week. How are you?
Look at how
Sorry to pause, but imagine that, okay? This guy has admitted to grooming men and, committing sexual crimes. And the very first question the BBC asks him is, how have you been doing? Are you okay? Are you okay? Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Now, after only 2 or 3 days, the headlines are saying we should forgive him and feel sorry for him.
Oh my gosh.
And let him off. Whereas me, who's been under constant media assault for over a year, they never let up. They never change. Someone sent me a clip yesterday of Philip Schofield saying he's going to kill himself and how sad he is.
Last week, if my daughters hadn't been there, then I wouldn't be here.
Why do they keep pushing me? Why do they keep pushing me, playing the sympathy card? And all the headlines are now like, yeah, we can't keep attacking this poor man. For 1 year they've attacked me, and they will not stop.
Goodness.
And this highlights the difference between the people who are on the side of the establishment and the people who are not on the side of the establishment. I've been offered to sell my soul very many times. I want everyone at home to understand, you do not become the most Googled man on earth, especially amongst a demographic of young men which have money to spend, without very large companies and corporations becoming extremely interested in you. I've been offered $50 to $60 million by companies I'm not going to name. All I had to do was shut up. Shut up, take the money, wear the stupid hat, wave around the stupid drink, whatever it is.
That's a shot at Logan Paul and KSI based. You know, I used to like both of them growing up, but I lost so much respect for them. When Logan Paul was literally there when Tate got banned, and many other times, Black Lives Matter, all this different stuff, he's literally like reading a pre-prepared statement off of his phone saying, I don't think hate speech should be platformed. What an unbelievably idiot. You know, Jake Paul, at least, you know, he has a mind of his own. Logan Paul, just unbelievable. Anyways.
And continue.
Disgrace.
To agree with whatever the Matrix says, regardless of my own personal feelings, my personal views and beliefs, and just push it on the minds of young children. And I refuse to do that. I refuse to sell my soul. If I would have sold my soul to a large corporation, and then this attack happened, which I very much doubt this level of Matrix attack would have even happened to me, but if it did, then this large corporation would speak to the media, and the media would be treating me like they treat Philip Schofield. They wouldn't be treating me as an enemy, they would treat me as an ally. All I had to do was sell my soul, and I refused. The recent BBC interview that took place, I don't think most people understand genuinely how snaky that interview was. The reason I had to destroy her so ruthlessly is because of how the interview was set up. When I was in jail, the BBC was constantly trying to get me to give an interview over the phone, and I refused. When I left jail, the BBC begged me for an interview, daily, begging me. And for 3 months, I refused. Eventually, once I understood, after my 3rd month of house arrest, what the Romanian government is going to do to me, which we're going to discuss shortly, I thought now would be a good time to give an interview. BBC begged me, saying that Romania has one of the most corrupt justice systems in Europe, that there's serious problems.
BBC off the record said that? Oh, but no. Oh, we trust the Romanian justice system. Oh, sorry. Mate, we trust the Romanian justice system, mate. Yeah.
With the case, once evidence has been leaked shows Andrew's innocent, that Andrew's side of the story hasn't been heard, that we're interested in fair and unbiased journalism, that we don't want to come there and do a hit piece. We want to speak to him and try and find out the truth of what's happening. In fact, we're going to send you the questions we want to ask in advance. I'm not a coward. I never ask for questions in advance. I don't care, because I'm a professional, and I will destroy anyone instantly. But they sent us a list of questions, which was shown to me, and I was like, well, those are actually interesting questions. What's my mental health like? What's Romanian jail like? They didn't ask any of them, yeah. What's it like being in a courtroom where everyone's speaking a language you don't understand and having your liberty deprived of you? I thought, this is going to be an interesting interview. I agree. The BBC, all nice smiles and all lies, sent us this entire spiel, turned up, turned the cameras on, sat down, and attacked me.
You know, it tells you a lot that, you know, journalists, the entire point of them in society is supposed to be to report the truth. And yet they are the biggest unbelievable liars and fakest people ever. And I will say, as someone who minimally, probably less than him, but has dealt with the liberal media, I have the same exact experience. Now, I'm sure Tate was smart enough, perspicacious. Is that the word he uses? Enough to know this. But, you know, they always do this. When I was going on Vice, for instance, they were the nicest people to me. Oh, we'll fly you out. We'll feed you food. The entire time they're there to set me up, right? And I knew that. I knew that going in. I was not, you know, blind to that. But it's true. They'll be the nicest people. Then they sit you down. It's a total setup. In some cases, they're actually even nice to you afterwards. And, you know, that's what they do. I will say, though, this is a step up that I've never heard of before. I've never heard of them sending a list of questions, sitting you down, and then literally asking none of those questions. Like, that is a level of dishonesty I've never even heard of liberal media. I'm sure it's happened before, but that's crazy. That's absolutely insane. I fully encourage, though, Andrew to publish the record of those questions, though. That's crazy.
Have you ever put any and applied any psychological control on any of the women you dated?
No, and I respect women. This idea that a man, that I'm so much smarter that I can hypnotize somebody, I think is an extremely misogynistic idea. I think your idea is misogynistic to believe that women don't have their own free thoughts and free minds.
They attempted to sucker punch me. They attempted to shake my hand and knock me out with a sucker punch once the cameras were on, to hit me when I was off guard. They expected me to be off guard,
journalists are the
ready to talk
fakest
about
people
my
in
mental
society.
health, and hit me with these questions and me make a fool of myself, unaware that I'm a master of Aikido. When you attempt to sucker punch me, it simply misses, and I destroy you.
So true.
Unmatched perspicacity. Just because I'm the best there's ever been, and me, with my quick thinking and nearly incomparable wit, can sit and destroy a professional reporter and her entire research team's preparation, just because I make that look easy, doesn't mean I should be forced to succumb to these unfortunate circumstances. 99% of the population, if they were tricked the way I was tricked, would look a fool on camera.
True.
They were very prepared to try and make a fool of me.
True.
But I'm the best there's ever been. Did they do this to Philip Schofield? No. Where was the BBC's outrage when Rolf Harris or Jimmy Savile were touching children? They don't care. Where's the BBC's outrage when certain other people, high level in society, members of the royal family, are caught having pictures with minors? They don't care. But they will continue to try and convince you that I am something I am not, on repeat, over and over and over again.
I would argue, though, in a way, it fits because the BBC is the British Broadcasting Corporation. It is state-run media for the British government. And so notice that, right? They cover up for the sex crimes involved in the royal family, Philip Schofield, all that stuff. But it actually is indirectly a declaration. You know, Andrew Tate is an enemy to the British state. We know what they're trying to do to them governmentally over there. So, I mean, I guess it fits. State-run media.
These people are worse than disingenuous. They are worse than simply liars.
Thanks for the super chats, by the way, guys. I'll read them.
They are a club, and if you sell your soul and join the club, they offer you protection, and if you don't, they aim to destroy you, which is what they're trying to do to me. The reason I decided to give the interview to the BBC is because I now believe that the next step, and I'm going to call it, because I've called everything that's happened to me so far. Look at my old interviews. I said, stage 2, they're going to try and put me in jail. I understand that you get 3 strikes in this game. Strike 1 is they try and shut you up and discredit you, which I've just been through. Strike 2 is they try and put you in jail for no reason. And strike 3 is they kill you.
The truth is this. So I knew it was coming. I absolutely not knew it was coming because of how orchestrated it was. The only thing, and I'll state this at the beginning, the only reason I'm upset by being canceled is because I've expired one of my lives. I mean, I'd never kill myself. Don't fucking try. But, bruv, because that's what's next. That's what's next. It's scary. I'm telling you, everyone thinks I'm paranoid. Everyone thinks I'm crazy.
So it's like,
I don't think he's crazy. I don't think he's paranoid at all. I know a lot of that would never happen. Really? Really? That was just a thought. I mean, if for instance, if the CIA, if the British intelligence, if they want someone, forget the Romanian government, if the forces in the further west want him gone, God forbid, it could happen.
every single organization on the face of the planet is corrupt. This is what I say to people. I say, listen, and I'm going to say this on this podcast now because I say it on every other one. I would never, ever kill myself. I truly believe they're going to come and they're going to try and kill me on a long enough time frame because they tried to shut me up and I won't shut up. They're either going to try and put me in jail or they're going to kill me. And I would never kill myself under any circumstances ever. And the reason I say this, and I say this to people, and they go, but what can they put you in jail for? And I'm like, how ignorant are you in your ignorance to believe they need a reason? You believe it's fair. You believe I can get a lawyer and prove myself innocent. That's not how it works. They decide you're guilty long before and they find a reason why. And it doesn't matter what you do about it. You will pay the fucking price. It's not fair. None of it is. Every single system's corrupt. It actually annoys me when people say it to me. Well, just get a lawyer. Why? They can't put you in jail if you're innocent. Yes, they fucking can. And that's what people don't understand about the world. They can and they do and they fucking will. And that's what's scary.
I'm going to call what's going to happen next. The Matrix is extremely angry. And they are angry because their weapons aren't working. I remain unfazed. This is the first time in history someone who's canceled became more popular than before. This is the first time in history where a full broadside of media lies for over a year across every single outlet that they control has failed. Nobody believes them. Nobody. So now what do? Well, I believe the UK is going to try and raise charges against me. Don't know what for. I've done nothing wrong. Something's going to appear from nowhere. In fact, I will say that I have some very high-level friends and some whistleblowers who are confirming exactly that to me.
Did you guys know they had apparently, confirm to me if this is true, I heard they had a national hotline in the UK that was literally just, if Andrew Tate has done something to you, please call us. Like a national hotline for this one guy. Can someone, anyone, can someone confirm to me if that was real? I heard that on, from whatever. So, yeah, it is true. And I don't trust the British justice system, frankly, any more than the Romanian justice system. You look what happened with Tommy Robinson. That was a total sham, and many other cases. So
they've looked at me and thought, we have to get this guy. What's he done? Nothing. Find something. Who cares? Get some papers, move some papers around, get a judge who'll stamp them, and put him in jail. It doesn't matter that I've done nothing wrong. I also want to say that I believe the Romanian government is going to charge me. They're not going to charge me
they did
because they have any evidence. And they're not going to charge me because I'm guilty of anything. They're going to charge me because after a 14-month investigation, 6 months of arrest, which is the maximum they can possibly give me without charge, I don't think they can just drop this. Imagine they just drop this tomorrow.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh, we made it all up. Imagine that. What choice do they have but to charge me?
Yeah.
If they charge me, I have to go to trial. Now, of course, I still believe in Romanian justice. I really, truly believe that even with Romanian justice systems or matrix-controlled justice systems, I will be found innocent. Because I know the case file, I know what's in it. But that's going to take years. They're going to waste 1.5 to 2 years of my life, make me go to trial. Then when I'm found not guilty, it's been years. Who cares, right? Distance from event. If they drop it now, it's the biggest story in the world. They can't drop it. They're going to charge me. They're not going to charge me because I've done anything wrong. They're going to charge me because that's how the matrix works. Unfortunately, I'm up against an enemy which I can't really, truly beat. I can't beat them. All I can do is continue to discredit them to the point where nobody believes them anymore. And I cannot do that without having perspicacious, intelligent people at home who are analyzing the situation and truly understand what is happening to me. If I have to martyr myself, if I have to some degree sacrifice my liberty and the quality of my life to highlight how the matrix operates, how the legal system and the media work hand in hand to try and convince the populace somebody is guilty before a judge says they are guilty because they have pre-decided to say this person is guilty because of his wrong think. If I have to sacrifice myself to do those things, then I guess at least my imprisonment is a noble one. And I'm a man. And although Romanian jail is as close to hell as you can find on planet Earth, if I have to suffer it, I will do that because I will not sell my soul.
And, that's what I'll say is that I know very often people will say he's in it for himself. Vince, why do you even stick up for the guy, even though his human rights are being violated? He's a con artist. He's a selfish guy, whatever. I mean, to me, that's actually an incredibly selfless and virtuous message that I think a lot of people out there need to hear. A lot of young men especially, because there's a lot of young men out there who disagree with all this stuff. They disagree with the woke. They disagree with the quote-unquote matrix. But they won't say anything because, they're scared. They understand there will be consequences. And here basically is a general for a lot of young men, charging headfirst in the battle, saying whatever it takes. I mean, we want to talk about, he's just a con artist. He's just trying to sell Hustlers University. The guy could just shut up, right? If he just shut up now, you'd have to imagine, they'd probably drop the case. He could figure out something, or he could flee. Maybe potentially, you could figure out a way to get out of the country. He's doing none of those things. He's standing here. He's standing firm, basically being willing to martyr himself. And think what you will of the guy, but I think that's very noble. And I think that's what more countercultural, conservative, whatever it is, figures in our civilization need. Because that's what it's going to take. Look at Donald Trump, right? And the same thing. You're the same type of moral cowardice you see on that front where people say, he needs to just drop out of the race. He needs to just give up, man. This indictment, he's not going to come back. It's like, who are you? Do you understand? Like, what are you thinking on that front? Okay, how can he as a man get this far and they're throwing everything they have at him and then now you're going to drop out of the race? It's the same exact thinking, right? But I think the men who stand there in the face of this stuff now will be remembered as the heroes that future generations stood up and said, hey, now that in a metaphorical sense, of course, metaphorically speaking, now that the revolution is in full swing, you're going to look back and remember at the guys who were the first guys to really stand strong and not just cave and totally succumb to the forces of the establishment, okay? So it's my opinion that in the future, assuming we don't just collapse as a civilization and there is some type of revival, I think you will look back on the Donald Trumps of the world, for the older people and the more political people. For the younger people, they might look back on the Andrew Tates and the Jordan Petersons of the world and say, those were the guys who inspired us to start all of this. And we saw how they basically martyred themselves and went headfirst in the battle and didn't back down. And that's why we didn't back down either, okay? So, I know every single time I do Andrew Tate content, people go, I don't like him, no. I get the same hate comments every single time, same stuff, I've addressed it a million times. But genuinely, my big thing is A, his human rights, that's what's most important. But B, again, think what you will of the guy, but he is here, he is in this situation. And I think the fact that he is telling a bunch of people, both political people and non-political people, his movement is much bigger than the political realm that I operate in. He's telling people, don't cave to the matrix, don't back down, don't just cower in the face of this stuff. I think that is actually a very noble message of bravery and courage and honor that most people in the modern world, man or woman, do not have. We're literally all scared, right? Most people, they pretend to be liberals to pass their freaking school papers, and then, you know, they wonder why there's so much cowardice. You know, everyone, that's the biggest problem we all have. So
the point of this video is only to highlight and make clear the differences in how the people inside of the club are treated versus the people who are outside of the club. And also for me to predict the future for everyone to understand. When new charges come, when new countries attempt to attack me, when the Matrix unrelentingly continues to print lies about me and try to convince the world that I am a bad person, I hope it does nothing else but show the world that I am a good person. These people are liars. The people they tell you are good are not good. The people they tell you are bad are the good ones. Do not believe a word that they say. All in all, my predictions for the future are not certain. My future is certainly not certain. Me neither. Whether I'll continue to breathe or continue to be free, nobody knows. But the one thing I can guarantee to absolutely everybody at home, and anybody who believes in me and my message, and anybody who listens to me speak, I will never sell my soul, I will never be controlled, and I will never lie.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. There is the Tate response. Sulo brings up a great point in chat. He says, if he was truly just a con artist and not the real deal, he would back down, play their game, apologize, get a deal, and go back to living his rich life. Exactly. You know? I would say even now at the point he's at, he could hypothetically back out. There are plenty of ways where you could probably figure out a deal to ensure your freedom just by going silent or apologizing or just, you know, flipping to the other side. And, you know, the fact that he's not doing that, I don't know. I think there's something virtuous about it. I think there's something inspiring about it, you know, truly. But there's the Andrew Tate response. We are praying for justice truly in this situation. Just like him, I don't really know what's going to happen in this case. It's not even a matter of whether or not I trust the Romanian legal system, although everything we've seen so far, I'm not sure if I do, right? But it's bigger than that. My real concern here is, again, the EU, which basically controls the Romanian government. Because the country of Romania is mostly socially conservative, overwhelmingly Christian country. But the EU basically, you know, they're a puppet for the EU governmentally. Then you have the UK, you have forces in the United States, I'm sure. I know someone brought up the point earlier in chat, he needs to just get to the US embassy. That's the whoever brought that up. That's the problem, though, dude. Think about this. What is Biden going to do? Biden's going to turn him back over. That's the thing. Because if this were any other American besides Andrew Tate, you understand this. There have been Americans who actually went to other countries and committed crimes that the U.S. government, night and day, 24/7, is trying to strike a deal with that government to get them out. It happens all the time. And you see this happen all the time. You hear about it all the time. But Andrew Tate gets arrested in Eastern Europe, and he's an American citizen. Does the American embassy do anything? Does the British embassy do anything? No. So someone in chat brought that up earlier. That's what you need to understand. It's not even Romania, okay? It really is the forces of the UK and the US and the EU that are making this trial right here happen. You know, I'd have to imagine that's where the political pressure came from. And so there's nowhere to run in the West, truly, you know? Hey guys, Vince Dao here. Hope you enjoyed that clip from the Vince Dao Show. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. And be sure to check out the Vince Dao Show live every weeknight here on this channel at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. It is a great show. Many are saying this. So leave a like, check out our other clips, and be sure to check out the show. Yeah. God bless.